It's been a minute, so I'm going to show you a little trick on how to do a content outline. So let's say you've done some keyword research. You've got a bunch of keywords and you're thinking, right, well, what do I do with them now? And that's one of the biggest problems I find. A lot of people are asking for keyword research. They don't really know what to do with the keywords. I'm going to show you a little trick. I wanted to see this for myself. I'm going to use AI tool. Now, there's an awful lot of AI tools out there at the moment. Surfer. I quite like Phrase because it's nice the way how it lays it out, but I don't love the output that I get. So a lot of these tools sell themselves on there like a one-stop shop. You just put the keyword in, and it will give you an exact ranking article. And that's not true. And it doesn't work that way. And I find I get better results when I write content naturally because I can write it in a way that's not robotic and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so how do a lot of these SEO tools or AI tools work? Well, they take a keyword and then they have a look through the top ranking results in Google. They look at the headings, they look at the titles, and they kind of give you this big list. And without any brain power, because they are just an algorithm, there's no judgment involved. They just mash it all together and go, here's an outline. And it just doesn't really work that way because people write things in different ways and it can't always work out which should go where and the correct structures, and it just looks like a mess. So I don't trust them. I've never had a good experience with them. I do like them as a form of like a document sheet where you can nicely line out an outline. But I thought, let's see if we can do this using essentially very, very cheap or free tools. So first of all, what is a content outline? Well, you can see one here on the screen. You can get this actually is a free one from Ahrefs. They're a really good keyword research tool. Not an affiliate, don't have any money to promote them, but I use them. I think they're a great system. I love their blogs. I love the readability. If you want to get an idea of how to make a really readable blog, there's fantastic. Look at the line spacing. Look at the line spacing. Anyway, they have a free content outline, so you can just download that, click a copy, and it'll look a bit something like this. So what you can see here, let's just get rid of this noise. I started filling it in, but you have title ideas, goal, keyword, search intent, USP, and then the outline. You can see here, this is about a ramen recipe. These were about ramen noodles. You can see here what ingredients go into them, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, up here we've got title ideas. So I'm going to write an article on fitness holidays. I've got a fitness blog website. I talk about fitness training when I go traveling. I love hitting the gym. If I don't hit the gym, I get sad. Probably got massive body dysmorphia, but I just enjoy the gym. It's my hobby. It's my special time. It's my special time. I love it. I love the gym. Weird, I used to hate it. I remember just going to like cross country when I was a kid at school years ago. It'd be like the thing I hated the most, but I think I made the thing that I hate the most the thing that I love the most. Anyway, enough of this counting session. I want to hit the keyword best fitness holidays. Fitness holidays, fitness retreats, travel fitness holidays. They're all going to be much of a muchness. So fitness holiday is a keyword, fitness retreat is a keyword, but let's be honest, they're the same topic. And I'm going to write a comparative kind of article, a best to call essentially. And so they're all the same thing. Okay, and we can double check that. We can go fitness holiday, and you'll see a bunch of results, workout away, health and fitness travel, a guide to the best ones in the UK, some best European well-being escapes. You can see here, this is a cool little tool from, again, it's an Ahrefs plugin. You can see here, this particular page gets a bit of traffic actually. 20 keywords it ranks for, 222 keyword search traffic. These are never that accurate either. The best UK staycations. Obviously, it's giving me UK-based results. But there's some volume for this. There's some interesting ultimate fitness holiday. There's a bit of a mishmash here. You've got a couple of besticles. You've got a couple of fairly low domain authority, individual brands promoting their own things. Ultimate Fitness Holiday number 9 here. Domain authority doesn't mean a great deal, but it gives me an indication they probably haven't got a lot of backlink work going on. Of note, glasshouseretreat.co.uk. Yeah, bit of a mishmash. There's no mega brands there. The Guardian's there, but no mega brands. Fitness retreats, I imagine, will give me more like yoga-y stuff, but Thailand, Bali. Health and fitness. Glasshouse are there again. I haven't even got a favicon, health.travel, domain authority. So there's plenty of traffic, there's plenty of keyword volume for this. So it's a keyword I like. Sea and Traveler's a good one. They're doing wellness in the UK, so maybe that's why they're not ranking as high. But anyway, I mean, fitness retreats itself, Lonely Planet are on there. is a commercial term more than it is a besticle style term, but I'm going to tackle the besticle aspect of it, and I think I'm going to pick up ranking for things like fitness retreats and fitness holidays as well. Anyway, so that's the keyword. Done a bit of research. So the very first thing I always do when I get some keywords is I go, let's have a look at Google. Let's see what have people done. Now, it's a bit of a ball ache to go through every single article, make a note of all the headings, make a note of all the titles, make a note of the structure. And I don't just look at the headings and the titles. I'll tell you what I look at as well. Give you my insights, my special tips. What do I look at? I look at the terrible, but I look at the good. I look at how's it going to be read. So it's pretty cool. They've got breadcrumbs. It's call to action at the top, not as relevant for what we're going to do. A title, a picture, and text. I don't love it. There's a big text wall there. Anyway, yeah, so I'm looking to see if they've got any headings in there. Can I see anything that stands up? Anyway, as you can imagine, you're spending quite a bit of time going through them all. This is ironic. This is really boring for me to go through this in this video. This blue thing here is an accessibility feature. They've obviously got a plugin they've added to their website to show how wonderful they are. It's so accessible. It's being covered up with another pop-up. Anyway, so nothing particularly stands out there. So then I go back into Google and I'll look at the next one. Anyway, that takes a bit of time. So I thought, well, let's do what some of these other tools out there do that you pay money for. So we started off by going to into ChatGPT. And I started at the very top and I said, well, I'm using ChatGPT Plus here, okay? So I'm paying $20 a month and I've got the plugins enabled. And those plugins are Web Pilot, which enables it to crawl and get up-to-date information. And there's a content rewriter tool there, but I'm not using that. And so the first thing I asked it, let's go all the way back. I'm going to show you the whole journey. And this is what you could do as well with this tool. So this is not about writing the content with ChatGPT, and that's the mistake people make. This is about, so here we go. Using the web plugin, find me 10 of the most popular holiday destinations to go to around the world if you're interested in fitness, and refine the results by making suggestions of fitness-based activities to do in each location. I would also like to make recommendations of blah, 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 blah. Please don't plagiarize and do not only source from one website. Okay, you will need to check this, and I have checked it. So it uses Web Pilot. You can see all the code it runs as a Python code. It runs all this script. Anyway, it comes up with 10 different locations, 10 different websites essentially. There's Annapurna, the Ranch Malibu. There's a number of different places, activities, what goes on there, where it is, and the kind of focus of the retreat. Great. Now I've got a numbered besticle, numbered listicle, 10 places to go, 1, 2, 3. That's a pretty straightforward blog post, but there might be more headings to that. There might be more information than just the locations. There might be other general information that someone who wants to read that kind of article is going to want to know. And we may have to put that on there so Google knows that we're more thorough, we are as thorough. And maybe, look, this information, people go, oh, Google wants to see it there. Google wants to see it there because it understands that people who look at this kind of content tend to dwell on sites more or engage more when they have some of this other information. So what is that other information? Okay, so I then asked it, using the Web Pilot plugin, visit each of these websites and report back into a table, I never got a table, the following information from viewing page source. So looking at the right-click page source. What's right-click page source if you're not sure? Right-click, page source, okay? I want to know what are the H2s, the H3s, the H4s, etc., etc. Okay, so it brings back, I want it to all or any H2s, H3s. Why not H1s? Because I'll probably get that from the title. Common or related headings that appear to each appear to have. So if we see similar headings, so one might say, I don't know, what is a fitness retreat? And the other one might be, what is a fitness holiday? Tell me about a fitness retreat. These are kind of related headings, aren't they? So we don't want to make our own outline and say, best fitness retreats in the world. First heading, what is a fitness retreat? And then another heading, tell me about a fitness holiday. It would be pointless, right? It would be the same content. So again, using common sense here. Number 3, commonly seen 3-word phrases that appear more than once for each page. So I don't know why I put that in there, but sometimes you'll see kind of patterns of phrases or sequences of words, and I don't know why I put that in there. I just did. I could have put 2-word phrases like speedboat. If the speedboat be relevant, it didn't give me any information that I really valued, but I put it in there anyway. Number 4, entities and words that appear across these sites which relate to the keywords fitness holidays. So what's an entity? An entity is just a fancy word for a kind of a phrase that relates to something. So if you're talking about fitness holidays, an entity might be fitness, travel, vacations. They're just kind of words that large language models and algorithms understand. They are relatable words. Anyway, so essentially I'm going to get a list of terms to use. These are words we may wish or could wish to use in a guide that reviews the best fitness holidays in the world. And then 5, anything I've forgotten to ask you to investigate. I don't know what I expected to get from that one. I'm relying on the system to understand what I might need. Who knows? Anyway, it goes through them all. It takes time. This whole thing actually took me no more than 20 minutes. The video is going to take me longer to do it. So it goes to the first one. From the Annapura website, I gathered the H2s, H3s, H4s, common or related headings. Now, it hasn't really done this particularly well, but we'll come back to this because that's not such a problem now. Commonly seen 3-word phrases. We optimize your... That's not a good one. So you're going to get a nonsense, but then I didn't even know why I asked for it. Entities and words, happiness survey. A lot of these sites aren't massively optimized for SEO, to be brutally honest. So you are kind of running with that as well. Anyway, it goes through all the sites. It does this 10 times. The Ranch Malibu. I get all the headings. I mean, you get most of it from this, to be honest. The headings, award-winning luxury, fitness and wellness retreats, health and fitness programs, food that promotes, maybe food. Anyway, entities, luxury fitness, transformative fitness, a lot of nonsense. Anything I've forgotten to investigate, and it gives me some other stuff as well. They highlight their awards, recognitions, and this is interesting. So when we're doing reviews of these things, we could perhaps talk about which ones have got awards and recognitions. So then we're showing that we're being thorough and we're highlighting those things that consumers probably want to see. Anyway, it goes on. So we go all the way through to the end. All right, let's get to number 10. Let's speed this up because this is much for muchness. And you could spot check these and make sure they are genuine. Okay, in this particular case here, I actually looked for a number 10. It went, do you want me to check website number 10? And it already checked website number 10, so it got a little bit confused. So this isn't perfect, by the way, but it's using this kind of system enables you to do, I think, with a bit of humor, because I think the secret to some of these AI outlines is the fact that people sometimes rely on them without using a human eye. But if you can use a human eye and realize that, then you can use this kind of system, and the human eye bit is where it cleans it up. So it's a good little process. With all the websites you've now visited and the headings you have found, I want you to aggregate the information together along with the guidance below to create an ideal content outline structure that provides information on headings, heading numbers, structure of the content, entities to use that appear to be seen across multiple sites. So that's why. And it will look back at the previous answers where it's gone commonly seen words, and it will then now aggregate that. It's all in the aid of ranking for the information discussed above below, title ideas, goal, keyword, USP, blah, blah, blah. Certainly. Anyway, it does this now. So it gives me an outline. Best fitness holidays, H1, H2. It's also, I've asked for an annotation. I want to know what to write under each heading. Okay, provide a summarized list of the top retreats. Now, I don't love actually how it spat this one out. I don't hate it. It kind of broke it down. It kind of did it wrong. So it's got top fitness retreats around the world, H2, and then it's got H3, holistic retreats, plant-based. Now, what you could do is you could do top fitness retreats around the world, and section 1, the holistic retreats, and you could do the top ones that fit within the holistic retreat. So then maybe you have the name of the location would be an H4, the name of the place, the retreat itself. And then you go back up and be like, best fitness retreats for plant-based fans, for vegans, best vegan fitness retreats. And then you do the ones under there. So you kind of categorize it. So subcategorization of subcategorization. And that's one way of doing it. I think definitely that works for people who search the word retreat. For those maybe who are looking for fitness holidays, like CrossFit fans, for example, you need to be a bit more perhaps explicit in the words. Best, full immersion training retreats. I don't know what they means. I'm sure people do. So there are ways to do it. Anyway, so it's giving me a bunch of headings. I'm not completely sold on it yet, but it's probably a very similar order to what you're going to get with a surfer and that sort of thing. It gives you a load of good commonly seen questions, what to expect from a fitness retreat, choosing the right retreat for you. Then it gave me a heading saying entities commonly associated with fitness retreats. So you've got to pick out some of these mistakes it will come up with, but then you can go back and it can refine it further. And I'm explaining this, but it actually happened pretty quickly. And I guess there's one aspect of, well, this all seems very complicated. It's not very complicated. What you're looking for is a logical, cohesive story. You're going to write a review on best fitness holidays. You're going to write a review on best yachts for beginners. You look at a bunch of headings, and in a few minutes you can just kind of move them all around and go, okay, this is the better structure, because there's a logical aspect to. If you can pick up a pen, if you can pick up a computer keyboard and use it, you probably have some common sense. I know they say common sense is quite uncommon, but there's a bit of logic to it to some degree. Anyway, how to make the most of it. So it's pretty good here with the FAQs and the additional questions. I probably wouldn't have FAQs after conclusion, and I probably wouldn't call the final conclusion a conclusion. I try and give it a more fun name. And I might even lead it, rather than using the word conclusion, I might be like, so how do I book? And then maybe a link to an affiliate partner, which is what I would do. Anyway, I like the annotations. I think that's great. Entities to use. Give me some entities to use. Plant-based eating, full immersion. If I can try and find a way to use some of these terms, great. Structure provides a comprehensive overview. Cool, right. Anyway, I've told it off now. I've said, all right, GPT, I notice you haven't suggested how we incorporate these retreats. You haven't even mentioned them in this outline. And there shouldn't be a heading called entities commonly associated with fitness retreats. And this is a good thing about the new GPT Plus as well, is it starts to remember stuff. You have memory mode. So it will remember within these threads what I'm telling it, and it won't repeat those problems. Generally, that's the hope. Anyway, fortunately, there's a bit of humility here from GPT. I apologise for the oversight. Let's refine the outline. Anyway, so it's done the outline. The ultimate guide. It's given me a couple of suggestions, and it's used it based on the ones I've suggested. These are my own titles. Best Fitness Holidays, updated 2023. Why choose a fitness holiday or retreat? Cool. Top 10 retreats. H3, 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 H3. Little tip, when you're doing a numbered article to help people, to encourage them to read down the page, I quite like having the number over the number. So if you've got 12 retreats, 10 retreats, 1 over 10, 2 over 10, 3 over 10, it just kind of encourages people just to count down. Back up, what to expect, choosing the right retreat for you. Now, to some degree, actually, leading with retreats sooner rather than all the other FAQ stuff isn't a bad shout, because people just want you to get to the point, and that's one of the things that Google is loving at the moment. Just get to the point, as everyone says at the video. But I do tend to lead with this kind of stuff. What to expect from a fitness retreat, choosing the right retreat for you, how to make the most of your fitness holiday, and then conclusion, and it's got the FAQs. But I mean, these are FAQs already, so this is because it's been, and this is again like a surfer tool, like a phrase, it's pulled a bunch of headings. So I would probably grab the FAQs. They would be the FAQs above it, and then where to book these. I mean, you could even talk about best travel companies for fitness holidays as well. So you can talk about places to go, but you could also talk about, obviously this is my article, but this isn't bad. It's getting there. It's giving me a revised structure. Now, I've opened up a new chat and it's got the code interpreter, and I'm going to now upload the actual outline I've got. And I've said, using the content outline attached and the information pasted in the box below, I then pasted all the content from the previous answer. I want you to put that information into a finished outline so I can hand it to a writer. And that's the goal here. The goal here is to have a finished outline to give to a writer and say, hey, can you write this please now? I will actually write it myself because I prefer to, because it's my hobby. I've pasted all the information. Anyway, it gave me the output in here. Output's fine, but it didn't give me in the form. So I had to ask it again. Great, can you update the doc file? So it's given me a structured outline. Can you give me a fish I can download? So it did that. Now this one was a bit messy, it didn't actually include all the header numbers. It wasn't messy, it was just not the way I loved it. So it did it again, and this is the final output. So this whole thing took 15-20 minutes. It didn't take as long as it's taking me to explain it all. I'm going to click here. Let's see if we can get this one open. So it opens up as a Word document. What we've got here, okay, so we've got title ideas, best fitness holidays, discovered what's best, goal to rank for fitness holidays. So it's kept the bits in that I've told it to do, which is USP, search intent, and content angle. This is so you can really help a writer kind of have an idea of how to write these things. And then it's given me, still hasn't put the H1s and stuff in there, but I can probably relent. If I click on enable editing, I wonder if it's H2, H2. Okay, that's interesting. So it has done the H2s, but it's done them in the format of the actual font size, which isn't that useful, but yeah, okay, cool. So then it's done the ultimate guide and introduction, why choose one, top 10 retreats around the world, 10 of them. What to expect, choosing the right one for you, how to make the most. Yeah, I mean, these are the FAQs, so that's not too bad. You know, then within a couple of minutes, I'd just go, right, bin that off. Conclusion I would change to you know, or so. How do I book a fitness holiday? We shouldn't put capitals there, so where do I? These would be FAQs, but yeah, that's your outline. That took 20 minutes. That's not too shabby, and I think like this only getting better. So this is GPT-4, but that's what I would do with the keyword structure. So then I would then take that and put that into something like Elementor or WordPress and just start banging them out. But I think if you're not sure what to do with keywords, you're not going to go too far wrong with doing something like that. Have a little look in Google, see what the other sites are doing, look at the headings, and start building it through GPT, stick it in a Word document, and away you go. And I think that's probably one of the key things. The biggest tip I could probably leave as a takeaway here is if you're going to ask someone to do the writing for you, the more you arm them with the right information as to how that content should be written, why it's been written the way it has, the better it's going to be. Providing they, you know, English is their first language if they're writing in English, or Dutch if it's Dutch. But those outlines make a hell of a difference, and you do half the job for them. Most of these writers are on platforms like Fiverr and Co. mark themselves down as SEO writers. They're not SEO writers. They are just someone who can write, and some of them aren't even that. There's some great writers on there, but there's an awful lot who aren't. I mean, there's true SEO is about knowing why the user is looking for something, and that requires more than just writing, you know, meta titles and things like that, or just putting H tags, head tag, you know, H2s, H3s. It's understanding why we do these things. Headers actually in tests have found that the actual wording in a header makes no difference to the reader whatsoever. It's more because it breaks the text up. Now, the headers may be more important for Google from an SEO tool because we're saying these words are important. But the point of headers very often is just to break the text up. So anyway, I won't get too deep in the weeds on that one. That's how you do a content outline. There are other ways. There's lots of fancy tools out there that can charge you a lot of money. SEMRUSH have a really expensive tool, and none of them do anything really that much different to what I've just done here. And so for a fraction of the cost and an unlimited amount of times per month, you could just make content outlines using GPT, a Word document, and your own eyes on Google, and a little bit of common sense. And that, my friends, is what to do with some keywords.